I have tried dedicating my life to preserving my freedom and individuality as a woman and an artist. Nature was the fountainhead of my inspiration and my refuge from follies of society. After living for several years in the city, the homemade abode of my youth still haunts me. In this remote manner of presenting my so-called life, I offer you all what I am and what I am not. The image of the city is often associated with the chaos of rat race, merciless fumes, and the pandemonium of people going about the everyday grind of life, but this place seems to be emergence of a refuge from its entropy. I never knew the reality that stressors of my life have zapped my ability to be my best, maybe not to the optimum level, how I wanted to extend my borders and be what life had established as I am. There was a time when I used sad memories as excuses to abandon the muse in me. I knew the muse won't leave me and will haunt me forever. My muse and I were born at the same time. Maybe the muse could not age as I was because I closed the door of revival. How I tried to be in good terms with everyone and everything, but not good enough to myself hitherto. I could not adhere to common goals. Perhaps I spoke the truth only to myself, so I listened more to others. They were sordid, sheepish, bitter, wicked, loud, and prudent, or more than that. I was so much like them. It's a regret my plans of writing were blasted before ever conceived. It's a tough way to be sublime, so I hurried to the door of my ambitions. But my memory was sharp at collecting whatever was still inside of me. I thought writing would stress me out, and I was all wrong. The occupation I had was greatly energizing. However, my soul seemed had deteriorated. All work appeared so nebulous. Time wrought some changes in me. Lines creased on my face, my knees creak as I walk, and my hands get numb all the time. I always discard the idea of writing as I find it my hands difficult to finish something I have started. Then, once there was a promise of peace in my silence. I knew I never surrendered. Really, I did not. So I leaned more to the logic of a writer's block. It occurred to me so early. I never realized if it would be temporary or permanent. I was aware it wasn't a matter of running out of materials because lots of ideas were oozing before me. I tried to get over, and repulsion stayed with me far longer than before. Indeed, I gave up my liking for writing. True to myself, I was good at rebuilding the imagination, but the repulsion inside of me was tremendous. The fear of scrutiny was utterly persisting. Besides, nobody reads my kind of work these days. I thought I have to enjoy the few years left in my life, that I'll never get rich writing, to give up writing while I feel it, and I wished it's as easy as that. Then I realized that creative drive had not left me. I had no other means of giving up my muse. As tragically, I would not talk of the fireflies in daylight. I have been a conventional coward. I knew I made life difficult for me in this desirable yet terrible world. As a writer, I should have self-assurance, but definitely I doubted it myself. I have nothing against fitting up the changes of time, but I also have to strengthen my soul. The ambit of my existence wasn't enlarged because I haven't traveled a lot, yet I have traveled in my imagination. I have been collecting memories, which impressions I fossilized, every essence I drank. This is my life, written in solace, as I'll delineate, among all sort of notions. These are simple pleasures, discoveries, and views of the world possible only within my specs. In my life I have weaved myriad of stories in silent corners of my mind. Sometimes I wouldn't know whether such silence is deliberate or unconscious. I would never make my entire life to be a bleak one. I made some hard pullouts to every stop. Let us saunter toward my paradise, where the sun shall shine more brightly than he has done. Join me in this solitary phenomenon where splendor never end. For the journey I had, there were no borders or bounds but mere transient forays of million souls chasing life. My stories were not all tragedy. It couldn't be comedy or farce. The woman in me could be hurting, struggling, surrendering, longing, winning, depending to the plot my muse would set up to. The muse is now smiling. When I started writing again, I just felt that the primitive savage in me, though, was able to survive. You will always be there in all my stories because what you read is truly yours.